Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, today I want to talk about what's happening with the market. I think it's going exactly the way I visualized. I do not regret having sold my profit-making stocks on Friday last. The market is moving in the right direction. I think yesterday was a bit of a blip where there I think was a sectoral rotation and we saw a little bit of reds in the genomics and a little bit of green in the FANG and technology stock, or the Magnificent Seven as they say. But I think the Magnificent Seven is overvalued and it's high time for a correction to come in, and that's in play right now. It looks like a little bit of consolidation on the chart, so there's a bit of hesitancy. We'll try to make sense of all of that and also try to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. With that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. The very first stop for us is going to be in the CNN Money Fear and Greed Index. So if I was to take you to the Fear and Greed Index, you will see that we are edging towards neutral on the greed. Earlier we were closer to extreme greed and then we have moved back now. So there's a cooling of sentiments. And if you were to look at it from a timeline perspective, this is what it looks like. So we are starting to taper down. And as we start coming down, there will be more selling of shares and therefore more drop in indices. That's the way I look at this chart. And then the next one I want to take you to is the NASDAQ futures, which are looking moderately green, like 0.01%, which accounts to almost nothing. And if you see here, we are well under this diagonal line of resistance, which comes from the previous bullish pennant. So the bullish pennant did not materialize, and not only did it not materialize, but also the cup and handle pattern did not materialize. So I think we are in the clear at this point of time. And if I was to go and have a look at QQQ, you can see that QQQ is still struggling to break through above this heavy area of resistance. And let me expand this a little bit so that you can see the action for today. The action today, we started much higher than yesterday. In fact, in the morning, I was having second thoughts about having sold. In fact, to a commentator in our channel, I had written saying that I'm really confused why the tech shares, Magnificent Seven shares are still going up. They should be going down because there is weakness in the market going forward. I think the prospects in the economy are weak. Therefore, in terms of price multiples, to retain the price multiple, the share price has to fall. So anyway, it started high and then it dropped and it fell below the closing from yesterday. But fortunately, it has stayed above the opening of yesterday. So in that way, there is still a little bit of progress that has been locked in from yesterday. But I think we are definitely trending downwards because MACD is bearish and also momentum has started falling. The moment it goes below average, I think I will say that, yeah, we have arrived. And then if you look at VIX, VIX is steadily trying to go up. It has ended above where it closed yesterday. So that is progress. MACD is bullish and momentum is also picking up even though it's under average or below average. S&P 500 did equally bad, dropping 0.4%. Dow Jones dropped around 0.19%. US dollar index continues to keep raising. One thing that is really bothering me is US oil. It continues to fall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of falls. And now, right now, we are seeing a bit of jump out here, a slight jump out here of 0.55%. So I was thinking that in terms of overall sectoral rotation, money could be put into oil and gas sector because some production cuts might be in the offing and oil prices will go up and we will probably have an opportunity to ride the way back. That was my thought process. But MACD is very weak, it's bearish and momentum is at the very bottom. And friends, when you're at the very bottom, that's when you start bouncing up and coming back up again. So I think that US oil could be ready for a turnaround. And if you look at PCC, put call ratio, I think we are at 0.878. We are still in the slightly bullish territory, but momentum is weak and MACD is also bearish. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Right now, we are still moderately bullish. And if you look at the companies, that are above the 20-day average, that number has started falling again, 3 consecutive days of drops. So this is going down, and also the MACD and the momentum indicate that it's going to go down further. So we are looking at a little bit of weakness in the market. And next I would like to go to look at the Magnificent Seven. Apple dropped around 0.57%. FNGU, which I sold for 205, booking a huge profit of I think around 3,500 or something like that. It has gone down to 187.45, and more downs are in store because you got bearish MACD and you got momentum almost at average. The moment it goes below average, I think we'll be in bearish territory. Amazon has dropped 1.6%, and Google has dropped 0.73%. The great Microsoft has dropped almost 1%. So overall, I think all of them are showing weak momentum and bearish MACD. I think same is the case for Google and for Amazon. So it's all moving in the same direction. If you look at Netflix, it's more of the same. Netflix has already dropped below the average for momentum. So definitely going into a bearish kind of a situation. Now let's look at genomics and see what's happening with genomics. Bluebird has done handsomely with a gain of 50 cents, which is 11.5%. So it's pretty good. And everybody's looking at the PDUFA date for CRISPR Therapeutics and then for Bluebird. And Bluebird was at the bottom for a long time. It has rallied sharply. I've not been able to sell a call on Bluebird in my terms, so I still have 600 Bluebird shares. It's got really good profit because I had bought it at around $2.40 or something like that. So there's a lot of profit sitting in there. And you will see that the MACD is absolutely bullish and the momentum is overshot. There are times, exceptional times like these, when the momentum can stay high, the RSI can stay overheated for a little longer. So I think until 8th of this month, that is the Friday, when CRISPR gets the PDUFA, I think there is going to be bullishness in Bluebird and CRISPR. Now let us look at the next stock that I want to talk about, which is Caribou Biosciences. And if you look at Caribou Biosciences, you will find that it has managed to break up above the bearish channel. We were talking about this consolidation here yesterday. It has consolidated and it has gone above the bearish channel. So I'm going to make this as a support line. So we are on a superior bearish channel at this point of time, and unless we break through above 6.27, which is a line of resistance, I would say that we'll still be in a bear channel. But now, if we were to draw a triangle out here to bound these two, we are looking at a bullish pennant because it's a bull channel. So the chances of Caribou going up is higher than the chances of it going down. So that's how I would be looking at it. Next, I would like to talk about Illumina, because Illumina continues to make movements upwards. Its MACD is also bullish and momentum is above average and moving upwards. So I think Illumina is trying to gain back some of the initiative. Let us look at the news, if there is any news for Illumina. I don't see any, so I'm going to let it be. But I will have to do a little bit of a search on Illumina and try to find out latest news about Grail, what's happening, and what's happening to their suit in Delaware court. And that's what I have to talk about in terms of Illumina. And the next one I'm going to talk about is going to be Beam Therapeutics. And when it comes to Beam Therapeutics, you can all see that there is this bullish pennant, and we are moving within that bullish pennant, and we have to break out somewhere. And bullish pennants always break out on the upside. So right now, I don't think on the 8th of December, we might be able to break out about this, because this is the strongest resistance that you can have. But because of 8th of December being PDUFA date for CRISPR, the animal spirits could just push us above this. But basically what I'm saying is the breakout has to come on the upside and not on the downside, because it's a bullish pennant. And next, after Beam, I want to talk about ARCG. And if you look at the chart for ARCG, there is an indecision. You have an indecision doji out here. So that indecision continues to wait for what's happening with the overall market, I think it's absolutely sure that CRISPR Therapeutics is definitely going to do well. But what's going to happen with the rest of the market is the big question for ARCG, because it has got more holdings other than CRISPR. So I think there's a bit of indecision. There was a very, very narrow band in which the trading took place, but nothing much to see here. And let us go on to the next stock, which is going to be Editas, which again is in a bullish pennant, and it has already broken out on the upside. It has traded on a very, very narrow price range, and it has closed today at 11.11, a gain of 1.18% or 13 cents. And RSI is overheated and MACD has moderated, so price could still fall back. However, again, I come back to the 8th December CRISPR PDUFA. So I am thinking that this diagonal line of support out here, the earlier resistance of the pennant, is going to form a support for this stock for the next 2 days. And after that, it may probably come down, but that's what I'm thinking at this point of time with regard to Editas. Then the next one I want to talk to you about, of course, is going to be CRISPR Therapeutics, where the price is still managing to stay within the bull flag that we created, and it has stayed above the support of 70.68, which was earlier a resistance. So that's one positive that we have here today. And if we were to look at the RSI, there is a little bit of room that has been created for it to move up. And I think as far as the MACD is concerned, it's going a little bearish, slightly bearish. But as long as we have heavy momentum, I think that can be converted into a little bit of bullish move. Of course, 8th December is the PDUFA date. My target for CRISPR for 8th December was $80, and we are nowhere near it. However, during the day, I think we touched a high of around $74 and change. So that's as high as we went. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow will be a huge test to see if we are able to cross that $80, or at least touch $80, or at least go to 79.5. That's my expectation out there. And having said that, I think overall genomics did very well today. And now like to look at conclusions. Many market participants are looking at this particular chart, which tries to project M2, which is the black line out here, which is the money supply, physical cash and checkable deposits, and this red line, which is basically the inflation rate. So what they are saying is that money supply has always been above the inflation rate, and right now we are so way far below the inflation rate in terms of money supply that we have started having a little bit of money supply coming in here. And where it is coming from, I don't know. I'll have to search and see what's happening there. But as more money comes into the market, it creates a little bit of a inflationary pressure. And at this point of time, the question is, are we in a situation where whatever strength we see in the economy is the result of something in the past, and that going forward everything is going to be weak? Are we in for a slow, smooth landing, or are we in the risk of getting into a recession? So if we are in the risk of getting into a recession, this would make sense. If we are getting into a smooth landing, then I think this red line has to come down in order to meet the black line. That's the way I would look at this. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this particular chart, which people seem to be looking at. Pay increase gap between job switchers and job stayers narrows. So job changer is the blue line and a job stayer is the orange line, and the gap between them was very huge before, but now it is starting to drop and moderating and coming closer. So I think this is as less as it has been in any time in the past, except probably on October 2020. So I think it's as good as it gets, which means that wage pressure is going to be less. And also I saw this other article where they are looking at a whole bunch of indicators. One of them is the one that I was also watching. Oil prices fall to 5-month low amid oversupply, weak demand. The next item that they are looking at is the restaurant jobs and hospitality industry jobs falling by 7,000, as I mentioned earlier. So they are feeling that this is probably indicating a greater weakness going forward. So everything is moving towards a situation where we can expect the Fed to be dovish and potentially start cutting interest rates. So having said that, I think the question will be, so Raj, what's going to happen for tomorrow? Well, I think that we will continue to see the flight out of the Magnificent Seven companies, which is the Apple, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, those kind of companies. And genomics should continue to be a good place to be until the 8th of December at least. After that, what happens will be something that we can divine with all the other information that we might get. So here is the economic calendar that we can look at for Thursday, December 7th. So we have initial jobless claims coming out, and the previous reading was 218, and the forecast is 225, and the consensus is 222. So we will see what happens with the jobless claims. I think if there is more jobless claims than expected, then the economy is cooling faster than expected, and accordingly more dovishness. That's what I would say. And then there is the continuing jobless claims data that's going to come. A whole bunch of joblessness data is going to come in. Then we have wholesale inventories month on month change, and natural gas stocks change, and we have the 4-week, 8-week, 15-year mortgage rate and 30-year mortgage rate, 4-week and 8-week bill auction. Consumer credit change is going to come in. That will be another interesting data point. So overall, all those things are expected for tomorrow. So the jobless claims is something that could move the markets. And then on Friday, we have a whole lot of things happening. One is non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and average hourly earnings month over month, and participation rate. And we have government payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, non-farm payrolls, private, Michigan consumer sentiment, and Michigan 5-year inflation expectation. Finally, I think the QQQ chart is showing a gradual descent of the prices in an orderly manner, and this gap has to be filled. And it's more likely now that this gap will be filled, and at least until we come to 374.86 and bounce off this support, I think we are going to come down. That's my feeling. Of course, friends, these are just my personal opinions, and they are not financial advice, so please do your own due diligence. I'm happy with all the decisions I have taken so far. So again, tomorrow the Magnificent Seven will continue to move downwards, if not as fast as today, but definitely for this week they are going to go down. And as far as genomics is concerned, I think it's the best place to be in. I'm looking forward to CRISPR inching closer to $80 by 8th of this month, 8th of December. And Bluebird also is likely to do well. There will be a little bit of profit taking tomorrow in Bluebird, but then it's going to continue to resume its move upwards. I was thinking $5.50 and $6 is the kind of range in which Bluebird might settle at the end of the month. And as far as CRISPR is concerned, $80. So that's what I'm thinking. Please put whatever you think in the comments below. I always read your comments, and it gives me great insight into how you're thinking, and it improves my ability to understand the markets. With that said, thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye for now.